The N-word is just as bad as the word cracker,
Here we go.
and I'm going to explain to you why before you get into a big frenzy.
Before you do, let's clear one thing up and get this out of the way now.
If you're comparing the badness of two words and you won't even say one of them, that's the worst word.
As we are aware, the N-word was used to dehumanize and demoralize black people for many, many years.
Demoralizing and dehumanizing is a great start to your list, but you skipped over enslaving, kidnapping, lynching, beating, etc. But continue.
It was also used to generalize black people so that they would not be called by their name.
The fact that you said their name lets me know that you don't even understand the history you're trying to speak on. When black people were kidnapped and enslaved, their names were stripped from them and a new name was assigned to them. You know what also was stripped from them? Their culture, their religion, their history, their traditions, their families. So no, the N-word wasn't so they didn't have to call them by their name. Their name was stolen from them. The N-word was to degrade.
We all agree that it's a despicable word and nobody should be using it.
Pause. You see where you say nobody should be using it? That's a dog whistle to a white supremacy talking point that black people shouldn't be using it, and as long as they are, then we can too. That's why you slid that in there. You see, white people don't get to dictate whether or not black people get to use a word that's been used historically by your own admission to degrade, demoralize, dehumanize, enslave, kidnap, murder, and lynch them. But continue.
The word cracker can be founded in many different areas and many different places throughout history, but the reason that black people called white slave owners this was because they would crack their whip.
That awkward moment where you walk face first into the point and miss it. You just admitted that the N-word is a word based solely on racism, a word used to dehumanize people, no other reason. But that cracker was a word based on the actions of white people. In other words, it was founded in reality. So you see, a word that was specifically designed to demoralize, dehumanize, enslave, kidnap, lynch, and beat people versus a word that was used to describe actual actions taken by a people are not the same.
Calling somebody a cracker means that you're calling somebody a slave owner, which is the most despicable, low-life type of person that you could possibly be.
You see, it's funny you bring up that slave owners is the most despicable thing you could be, but yet people like you fight to prevent actual history from being taught in school. You prefer the whitewashed version. It's funny that whenever we talk about the Revolutionary War, so many white people talk about my grandfather fought the Revolutionary War. I trace my family line back to the Revolutionary War. But anytime we talk about slavery, well, nobody I know owned a slave. My family's been poor. Only rich people own slaves. You always distance yourself from slavery and tie yourself to revolutionary. So if you truly believe that slave owners the worst thing you can be called, then teach our children about slavery. Continue.
This is the reason why both of these words are equally derogatory.
And now I hope you know why you're wrong. You're dismissed.